The first card you have for your past is the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so here's lots of ups and downs, lots of problems, juggling things, struggling with things. So I'm getting work around this because I'm getting these pentacles, obviously. I'm seeing this quite literally, actually. It really feels like, I think you went through a time, I think it was sometime in this past year, and I think you were a bit burnt out. I think you hit a point where you're just like really, really burnt out at one time. And obviously this was around work. I'm not getting any negative feelings around the actual work you were doing. Maybe it was being overloaded. Maybe it was something to do with the people around you. Because I think work's been your saviour, actually, a few times. I think you've worked your way out of a few problems you've had. Especially emotional problems. I think you've worked your way out of that a few times. So it's not a problem you have around work. And I think once you get into the flow of work, like the way you work now, once you get into the flow of everything, it's absolutely fine. You feel fine. But it's the feeling you get before you start. That's what I'm picking up on. It's like, because I think this burnout that you had, I think you've gotten over the worst of this. I think you were in this, September sometime around then, I think. So there's a bit of a hangover from that, if this resonates with you, obviously. So you're getting this now, you've still got a bit of this left over from that. And I think you've got that around you now, or you did at this time. And I'm picking up on that feeling. So it's like, you get up for work and it's like, oh, or you start your work, you're just about to start, it's like, oh. And once you get into it, actually, it's not so bad. That's what I'm getting. It doesn't feel horrible. It doesn't feel like I can't bear this any longer. It's not like that. And there's a truck going past. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I'm seeing things being changed around. That's what I'm seeing when I see these pentacles going around and around. It's like, I think you change something around, schedules, something like that, to kind of help yourself so that you're in a better way. It wasn't so terrible. This burnout wasn't so bad. And I think that happened when this was at, when it was at your worst with this burnout thing. So, you've done what you can practically to deal with this. There is something I'm seeing just here coming up for you, and it's coming up in the new year. And I don't think it's a new thing coming up. It's like a new opportunity, but I don't think you're going to let go of what you're doing now. It kind of feels like you are. It is going to give you a whole new drive and focus. It's it's going to be an important thing to you, but it's not like this big thing that's going to take everything over. It's a smaller thing that's coming in. It's going to give you more focus, and you're going to feel a lot better when that new thing comes in. And I think one thing's going to be phased out that you're doing, a small component of what you're doing, not everything. And this other new thing's going to come in. It's only small. That's what I'm seeing. But it is going to give you a fresher outlook, more focus. All of these things are quite slow. They're quite gradual. That's what I'm getting. And, if you're still feeling a bit like this, if this is you and you're still feeling a bit like this and you're a bit burnt down or a little bit down around your work, just know that there is relief coming. It does feel gradual, and something's being phased out and another thing's being phased in, but it's very, very slow. So I hope that makes sense to you. That's kind of what I'm getting there. Okay, so the next card you have your past is Strength, which I really love. I love this card, and this is about you. You're so, so strong. I have to say, the immediate feeling I'm getting around this whole reading is I'm just getting a really kind of low-key, really subdued feeling. It feels like you're healing, but it's very, very slow, and you're kind of resting in that, if that makes sense. You're just kind of resting. You need to heal from something. That's what I'm getting. And you're just kind of letting this healing happen. Now, because usually when people are coming out of something like an old love situation and they need to heal from that, it's the opposite of this. It's really desperate. Like, I hate this feeling. It's so horrible. I want it to be over. Hurry up. I want this over. And that's understandable. I've been there. We all have. But with you, I think I'm not getting that at all. I'm actually feeling the opposite. The whole thing's very subdued, very low key. And it might be because you're tired overall, because I was getting that in the Two of Pentacles and this kind of burned out thing. So, and I'm really getting this, another thing's coming up. Like you have all these problems, a problem comes along and it's like, oh, more things, I'm tired, what next? Oh, well, that's the kind of thing, this kind of listlessness. And that's so unlike a Scorpio, usually really bright, witty, you're very, very strong, which is what I'm seeing here in the Strength card. But I think really at this point in time, I think you've just had a really huge year. I'm seeing lots and lots of ups and downs, big ups, big downs as well. And that's in the Two of Pentacles as well, obviously. And, maybe you're just thinking something like, the year's nearly over. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of time before I start on this, before I start pushing myself in work again, before I start pushing myself to do things, because I'm always pushing myself. And I'm just going to give myself that little bit of time. And you'll get your strength back again. And you're strong. It's always in there. That strength's always in there. But at this time, I think you just know, I'm just sitting back. I'm just giving myself time. And I think that's the right thing to do if that's what you're doing, actually. You need that time, and you still need that, I think. Yeah, I think also what you're healing from, it might be you haven't quite gotten over someone yet. That's what I'm getting here. And I think sometimes that as well, that can come out in a physical way sometimes, that feeling and the stress when you haven't quite gotten over someone. When you get really, really tired sometimes, it might be this as well. Sometimes that's our body forcing us to rest. It's forcing us to process things and to get through things. Because if you never rest, if you never stop to think about getting over someone, you never quite do. So sometimes your body forces you to just rest and just process that and just sit down and rest. Because for me, if I'm going through things and if I don't let myself have that rest, if I'm going through a problem, I don't give myself that healing time. Sometimes I can come out with, a migraine, which is really horrible. Or sometimes I get a shoulder ache, a neck ache. And then when I get something like that, it forces me to rest. It's like my body's saying, no, you can't do this. You can't run around doing this. You can't do that. You have to rest. I'm forcing you, because you physically can't do anything when you've got a migraine or a really bad shoulder ache. It's like, no, you can't move. I'm making you rest. So that might be what's happening with you. That might be what that tiredness is as well. It's a lot of things combined, I think. But yeah, listen to your body. Listen to what it's telling you. If you need to rest, get that rest. So that's the message in that card as well. And the lion's doing that. The lion's resting on the woman. She's taking care of the lion. Okay, so the last card you have, your past judgment. Really interesting card. Yeah, this can be about healing as well sometimes. Sometimes it can be about that. And usually it's about moving into something completely new, letting go of old things. It's like out with the old, in with the new, big revelations, all kinds of things. And I love seeing this right next to the Strength card, because I'm just looking at the people on this card actually, and they're all coming out of their boxes. They're kind of lifting themselves up, lifting their arms up. I'm going to move it up so you can see it properly. So yeah, everything's like, the trumpet sounding and we're lifting up. And so I think, when you look at the boxes that they're in, I think at the moment you're probably in this process, in part of the process, and you're at the lying down time. It's like you're quietly in your box. They used to be in their boxes and they've come out. So you're in your box and you're just getting yourself together. You're just in the quiet. That's fine. You're letting yourself heal. And when you're ready, you're going to lift yourself up again like these people. And I think you're a veteran. I think you're a veteran at healing yourself. It's sad actually, but it's a good thing. You've experienced this before. I think you've been through a lot of heartache in your life actually, sadly. And it's a bit like, well, I know what to do. I've been through this before. I know what feelings to expect. I know what I have to do. I'm just going to let myself go through this. So I think that's what's happening here. You're going through that process and you will come out the other end of that. And the other thing I'm seeing here is, and I'm thinking about this thing that you're getting over, this ex or this past relationship that I was seeing in the Strength card. I'm just looking at this big trumpet, and he's playing his trumpet, he's blasting everyone, and they're suddenly jumping up because they're hearing this trumpet. And I think the situation that you're in, this is what it looks like from this card, with this love connection, with this ex that you're healing from, I think it was really fast. I think you might have got together really fast. It's like you heard the trumpet and you jumped up. It's like the first sign of love. It's like, oh, I feel amazing. I'm going to jump up and follow that. That's what I'm getting. And it's this real, it's this, I'm swept away. I'm swept up in the moment. I'm all swept up in the moment. And I think that's how you were in this relationship. And that's how these people are in this judgment card. They're hearing the trumpet and they're swept away. So if this is you, I think what's happened now that you're getting through this, that's the trumpet, that's the siren. You're getting through this, and I think from now on, you're just going to be really wary of things happening quickly, because that's what happened, and it was a big disaster. And, you're just going to be a lot slower from now on when it comes to love. Next time someone blows their trumpet at you, you're not going to jump to attention. You're not going to be like these people. You're going to let it happen a lot slower. So I think that's the lesson you've kind of learned out of that. So good things happen out of horrible things. And I hate to say that, because when you're going through that, it's really difficult, I know. But yeah, that's what I'm getting there. Okay, so the first card you have your present is the King of Swords. So yeah, look at that. You're guarding yourself against any new things that aren't good for you. And that's what the King of Swords is all about. And look at all these cards. All these cards for your present. This is exactly what I was just saying in your past. So I'm seeing it all again here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about all three of them together here. Okay, so obviously with the King of Swords, there's no love here at all. There's no emotion here. He's all about logic. He's about cutting things out, anything that's not necessary, cutting out lies, cutting out rubbish, cutting out people you don't want, things you don't want. So with this sequence I'm seeing here, coming down here, the King of Swords, it's a little bit of a warning to you. And I think I think you're taking notice of this warning. You already know about this warning. You're guarding yourself, and you're going to keep on doing that, I think, on into the future for a while. You need to do that, and you need to guard yourself to get through that healing process. And you're guarding yourself in two ways, I think. You're very strict with yourself, because I think you have to stop looking at certain things on social media with this ex or whatever. You have to stop going to places for a while where you're going to see them, things like that. So you're being very, very strict with yourself. Very, very strict. That's exactly what this king's like. And you're also guarding yourself against new things that are coming in, because I think you are going to have very soon, if you haven't already, you're going to have people come into you who are going to want love with you and things like that, in situations. They're not going to be very stable. You're going to see them as soon as they come in, and you're going to guard yourself from that as well. If you haven't already, you might already be doing this. So keep on doing this. You're absolutely doing the right thing if that's what you're doing. Now, with the Page of Swords, I think you know what this is. Yeah, they're still watching you. This ex, I think, is still watching you. This person you're trying to heal from, they're still watching you. They're looking at what you're doing, probably on social media once again, I think. And do you know what I'm getting here? I'm getting this out of control feeling, really out of control. And I think that's how they're feeling. Yeah, it looks like, okay, this is what it looks like. This is probably going to sound a little bit horrible. But I'll tell you anyway, I'll tell you what I'm seeing. It looks like they felt as if they had some kind of control over you. I'm not getting a controlling person, but it's more like, maybe they were, but this is more like, okay, I'll try and explain this. It's not very easy. It's not easy to do, but I'll try. It's like they were thinking something like, okay, I had them where I wanted them. When I was with them, I had them exactly where I wanted them. And now I don't have them where I want them, and I want that back. They're not, I don't have them where I want them anymore, and I want that back. That's what I'm getting. I know I'm going to get a lot of cross-watchers angry with me, but okay, that's fine. That's usual. But anyway, I think the key word here is, because it's like I had them where I wanted them, and I want that back. That's what I keep on getting in my head. And the key word here is it's that. It's the word that, because They're thinking, I want that back. They're thinking, I want that back. I want that control back. I want what I had back. They're not thinking, I want you back. They're thinking, I want that back. That's a huge difference between the two. Like, it seems quite subtle, but it's not actually. It's huge. That word, that, is a huge word. They're not saying, I want them back. They're saying, I want that back. That feeling of, I had them where I wanted them, and now I don't. So, that's what I'm getting there. And I think they know, actually. I think they know you're onto this. You know what they're all about. You know what they're doing. And, again, if you look at this page, he's up on this hill, but it's a mossy hill. It's full of moss. It's green, and, it's slippery. So they know, this is what I'm seeing here, they know that if they come back and if they try and connect with you again, they'll be on totally shaky ground. They know that. You're not going to want them back. And it wasn't a stable connection anyway. The whole thing was on shaky ground. Look at the Three of Swords. This heart has no stability, absolutely none. It's floating around in the sky. It's being tossed around by the storm. And that's what your heart feels like when you don't have stability. And that's what it felt like. Your heart was being tossed around because this person had the control. They had you where they wanted you, and you weren't where you wanted to be. Your heart was all over the place. So that's what happened. And that was because you didn't have that stability. So, I can't quite see if they're going to try and connect with you again or not. I can't quite see if that's going to happen, but what I can see is they're definitely thinking about it. So just know that, just be aware of that. There is a possibility they might come back. Because I just feel as if I want to protect you, because I'm seeing you going through this healing process and you're coming out the other side of that, and you will come out the other side of that. And I just want you to keep on going through that. I just want you to keep moving forward. I don't want you to be distracted by this person's energy. Even if you talk to them and you decide, no, I don't want to go back together with them, just their energy, I think, will set you back a bit. So I don't want you to engage with them. It's up to you, obviously, but this is what I'm seeing here, and I'm just feeling really protective. Okay, so the first card you have for your futures, the Hermit. Beautiful. Now, I really love this card. A lot of people are like, oh, that means being by yourself. It can be that, of course, but this is a really thoughtful card, very, very spiritual card. It's a very independent card. And I really love this. I love seeing this here for you, because I think this is the heart of you. You're all these things that this Hermit represents. This is who you are. You're not a hermit. I don't mean, you're all alone all the time. That's not what I mean. But, it's like you know where you want to go, and you won't let anyone stop you. That's the true you. You follow your star, you follow yourself, and that's what he's doing. So, yeah, this is the true you. This is you. You're starting to come back again. So what this is showing me is, by this time in the future, you'll have gotten through a lot of this process. You're starting to come back again. And, you're by yourself like the Hermit. You're going to be like that for a while, which is, I think, what you're like now. And then you're going to start back on this path again. And it's your path. It's no one else's path. It's yours. And, yeah, this is interesting because, you've got the Fool here under this. And, yeah, I'll talk about the Fool here as well, because I'm just looking at the two together. So, okay, so the Hermit, to me, he's a bit like the Fool, actually, in some ways. He's independent. He doesn't listen to people. But the difference is he's wise. He's got this wisdom. He's gained this wisdom because of what he's been through. And that's what's happened to you. You've been through things, you've been through a lot, and you've gained wisdom. So you're going to come out the other end of this. You're still going to have your independence. You're still going to have your determination, all that, but you're a lot wiser, and you're a lot more careful, and you're a lot more thoughtful. Now, and there's no way you're going to ever going to be involved with anyone who takes you for a fool. And I think that's what this person did. That's what this ex did, because they had you where they wanted you, I should say. They took you for a fool. So I'm not saying you're a fool. And I'm not saying you're losing your spontaneity. That's not what I mean by going from the Fool to the Hermit. You're just not going to act like these people in the Judgment card. You know, if someone comes along with a love offer, you're going to take your time. If a work offer comes, or any other kind of offer, anything else, you're going to take your time. And if they're right for you, they'll wait, especially in love. In other things as well, but especially in love. You know, if someone loves you today, if they truly love you, if they love you today, they'll love you tomorrow, and the next day, and the next year. You know, the right person won't expect you to jump up when the trumpet sounds. If you tell them you're taking your time, and, you know, if you say, no, I want to wait, I just want to wait, I'm just taking my time, I'm not sure, I need to take my time, they won't mind. They won't mind, because they're the same person tomorrow as they are today, the true person that you're looking for. And, you know, obviously this is all if you're single, but if that's how you're going to go about things, and I'm seeing that you're going about this in the Hermit way now, that's how you're going to attract the right person, by being determined, thoughtful, all that, just like the Hermit, and very, very slow, very, very, very careful. And from now on, that's how you're going to be, and you are going to attract the right person to you, because you know what you don't want. You've got the King of Swords sword up. You've had people come to you. They're not right for you. They're not stable. And you're going to attract the right people by being a bit like the King of Swords with your sword up, and like the Hermit, careful, thoughtful, and slow. That's what I'm getting there. So I hope that makes sense to you. Okay. So the last card you have for your future is the Nine of Wands. Okay, so again, this is really similar again. If you're single, you know, you're on the right track. You absolutely are. So don't change anything you're doing. I think when you're ready, I think when you finally feel like, okay, I'm ready to put myself out there now. I'm ready to go out there. I'm ready to start seeing people again in love and all of that. When you start to feel like that again, I think there might be some backwards and forwards going on. I think you might stumble a little bit. You might go forwards a bit, and then you feel like, oh no, I'm not ready, and then you go back again. That's what I'm seeing, a lot of coming backwards, going forwards, and a little bit of stress. So, you know, just be kind to yourself if that's what you're going to go through. You know, it just takes time to do this. You know, listen to your instincts, listen to yourself. Don't do anything before you're totally ready. It just takes time to trust again. That's all it is. And, you know, the man on this card, he's got a bandage around his head, and, you know, he looks really tired. And I'm seeing your tiredness all through this whole reading. So he looks really, really tired. And, you know, he's a soldier. So of course he's tired. He's been through some horrible things, and you have as well. You've been through some horrible things. So just listen to yourself, listen to your instincts, and you'll know when you're ready. And I hear this all the time. This is something I hear all the time. You know, I always hear people saying things like, oh, you know, if you've been with someone, if you've been in a relationship for a certain number of years, it takes X number of months or weeks or something to get over them. If it's a long-term relationship, it takes a lot longer. And if it's shorter, it takes shorter. And if it's this and that, and it takes this many days and this many... That is rubbish. That's absolute rubbish. That's so wrong. You know, there aren't any rules to getting over someone. There's no set amount of time that's the right time. You know, sometimes you can be in a really long-term relationship and you can get over things a lot quicker than if you're in a shorter one. It depends on so many different things. You know, and you know, everyone's an individual and every situation's different. So there's no rule. So all you need to do is just listen to yourself. Don't listen to anyone else. Take as long as you need and listen to your instincts. If you're ready, you're ready. If you're not, you're not. And keep on being like the Hermit.